But then looking at it being a game changer, is enough being done to attract these global investments into this very critical sector?
I agree with you, but at the same time, one fact you can't deny is the market. No, I'm not even talking about the potential. I'm talking about the existing market. A willing investor, once the operator are ready to have open and honest discussion with them, they will no doubt be interested in putting their money in this sector.
So let's go back to the issue of funding now. Apart from this intervention that we've seen, in collaboration with the Central Bank, the Ministry of Power, NERC, and deposit money banks as well, what other interventions do you think are needed, to help this sector succeed? What kind of approach is needed to finance this sector?
First, let me correct an impression. While financing is key, I also think beyond that, we also need to look at policies. The world is moving away from macro grid to micro grid. And what do I mean by that? We need to start looking at segregated power production and consumption to an extent. And thereafter, whatever excess these segregated consumers have, they can now put into the national grid. Take for instance, Lagos, in reference to government, there are provision for island power modes. Lagos, Port Harcourt, Kano should be encouraged to generate their own power and first satisfy their individual needs. Then the excess could be put back into the national grid. There are quite a lot of collateral benefits in this arrangement, and I think government should start looking or tweaking their policy towards that direction.
Well, Mr. Edit, even, though some might agree with you that, the government or this Gencos and Discos should begin to look at segregated power consumption, they still have the same challenges. One of the challenge is gas. So if they still have, the same challenges we're providing for a large amount of people, it's the same thing they're going to face when they have to produce for a smaller amount. I differ to a great extent, okay.
And this is the reason. Income profile differs around the country. If you also look at different surveys carried out with respect to power consumption, a place like Lagos, if you forgive me, I'll keep referring to Lagos for obvious reasons. A place like Lagos, both survey carried out by MAN and survey carried out by Lagos State Electricity Distribution Board shows that they can afford to pay more. And having said that, the issue of gas has to be addressed from innovative point of view.
Okay.
Now, if you can afford to bring in gas by other means apart from the Escravos Lagos pipeline network, you explore it, even if it costs you more, as long as you have the market that's ready to pay for it. And why am I saying this? FA recently announced that they've completed overhauling all their units. But I doubt if they have enough gas to run more than 2 of those 6 units. So if there is a way for them to get gas at a higher cost and there is a market that is willing to pay more, is going to do a lot of good to the system. First, the 800 megawatt or so they are appropriating to Lagos, to both Ikeja and Ekodisco, will be free for other consumers in the country. And of course, like I said earlier on, the Lagos market will be willing to pay more as long as they see electricity 24/7.
But that also brings to question, if the role or roles in the capital market structure are clearly defined so that the sector can actually perform effectively.
Don't forget, part of the privatization arrangement is eventually all this outfit will go to the capital market. But we just don't go to the capital market for the fun of it. You have to be attractive enough for investors to put their money into whatever you are bringing to the table.
Okay. Well, Mr. Edet, let's take a quick break on the program. We'll come back and continue this conversation. When we come back, we'll still talk about the issue of pricing. Most operators have said that there's a need to allow a pricing structure that will ensure end users and investors are not shortchanged. So hold on to that thought. We'll come back and continue the conversation.